Hello and welcome to Learning with Moodle. In this presentation we're going to introduce this wonderful open source online learning environment. Moodle started as one man's idea. This is Martin Tugiamas, and approximately 1999 he started a PhD thesis and needed a tool to collect the research data. The PhD thesis focused on open source software to support a social, constructionist epistemology of teaching and learning within internet-based communities of reflective inquiry. Phew. It's important to note that Moodle was always open source, and that even though it's backed by a social constructionist pedagogy, it's okay to use it in other ways. When we say open source, what we mean is that the product, the software, the code is available for anyone to use, to open, to recode and reconfigure the way they want. It's also often referred to as free and open source, but in this case we mean free as in the free puppy. Moodle still has some costs. It needs to be installed on a server and maintained, and the staff who are using it will need some training or some time to learn how to use Moodle effectively. Moodle is now founded on Martin's 5 laws. You can find out more about these at moodle.org, but in short, all of us are potential teachers as well as learners. In a true collaborative environment, we're both. We learn particularly well from the act of creating or expressing something for others to see. We learn a lot by just observing the activity of our peers. By understanding the context of others, we can teach in a more transformational way. This is constructivism. And a learning environment needs to be flexible and adaptable so that it can quickly respond to the needs of the participants within it. Those of you familiar with social constructivism will know that these are basic tenets that guide that particular teaching theory. Moodle is both a verb and an acronym. The verb Moodle means to play or tinker while you're learning. But the acronym refers to Modular Object-Oriented Dynamic Learning Environment. It's important to focus on the modular here. Moodle was built so that it could have extra things added onto it as users needed them. As a result of this, you can find a lot of plugins that have been built by members of the community on moodle.org. We love that Moodle is built by teachers for teachers. Martin's background is in education, as his thesis indicates, but you'll also find a lot of teachers online at moodle.org talking about ways of using Moodle more effectively and getting the most out of it for their students. I encourage you to jump on there and have a look yourself. It's where you'll find your community, and they're incredibly supportive. Not only teachers go onto the forums, but the programmers who build Moodle are on there as well, learning how the users want to use Moodle best and finding ways of building it so that it fits those needs. You can request features or report bugs by using tracker.moodle.org. One of the questions I often get asked when I'm talking about free and open source software is, if it's free, how do I know that it's going to be around forever? This is how we know Moodle is going to be around for a while. This information comes from the statistics page at moodle.org, and it's collected anonymously from all the Moodle sites around the world who choose to register with Moodle. We collect information about the site, how many and what version of Moodle it's running, and how many users are on it. I love that the users in the past 24 hours is often around this figure. Although Moodle's been around for 10 years now and actually grew out of Curtin University in Australia, Australia still only just makes it to the top 10 countries. You'll notice the United States, Spain, Brazil and the United Kingdom are quite high up on the list. The United States uses Moodle in a lot of its schools, and the United Kingdom has one of the largest single individual Moodle instances with Open University UK. Open University UK is responsible for a lot of the plugins that make it into Moodle. I focused a lot on open source, and I believe that it's a fantastic background for creating open education resources, but it really is a choice. Your institution can choose to be open and connected to the rest of the world, or, as most institutions need to be, closed down so only members of your community can see your resources, activities, and private information. Moodle allows you to configure it however you need it to be. Ultimately, it's about participation. Getting this kind of interaction happening in an online learning environment can be quite tricky, but with Moodle's wide selection of activities, it can happen. Welcome to Learning with Moodle. We're going to have fun.